Joseph, there's a basically, as long as we're on proverbs, there's an old proverb in graphic design that says that this. Well, actually, there's a couple of principles. One is called Occam's razor, and the other is called Hicks' law. And I believe that you've heard me talk about both in previous classes, but basically they both point to the same thing: that simplicity is your best friend in design and visual communications. And I agree with that 100%. And I think that the reason I bring that up to start this critique is that you have boiled this down to an irreducible core, and I think it's very, very effective. Um, Remember, 10 times out of 10, the most simple approach is the best approach. So this is excellent. A couple of things I would recommend here. Now, the one thing I'm looking at the composition, it almost appears, I'm not saying it is, but it appears, and there's an illusion here that it's out of balance. And the reason being is because it quite possibly could. I haven't measured your margins here, but if the margins are equal, it still looks like it's a little off balance. And the reason being is because it's the length of the equal sign and the fact that the equal sign is really encroaching more so onto this side, the right side of the composition, throwing the balance off a little bit. So my recommendation is to just take a look at this and optically balance it, okay? Establish your margins, but try to opt as what looks right. So imagine you're putting a fulcrum and really ascertaining visual balance is as simple as thinking of a composition as a teeter-totter. So if you place a fulcrum in the middle of the teeter-totter, watch my cursor, then what side is heavier? And we can clearly see that this side's a little heavier side with the dollar sign. So it's kind of tipping that way. So as I said, sometimes you can measure things, sometimes based on the symbols, the icons, the negative space and the spatial relationships therein, it could be perfectly equal, but the optical illusion is that it's out of balance. So you have to take some optical liberties here and kind of do this manually so it doesn't look like it's out of balance. Okay, very effective. The only thing I'm saying here is this is the only point of confusion, and I think that it would really be a great exercise. So if you want to do this, it's great. I think as far as I'm concerned, you're done. This is fantastic. It works. It's effective. But to really push your skills here and push your creativity and push your thought process. Try to depict the word is, something other than an equal sign. Because does it work? It does work. The rebus is complete. The idea is complete. But it's very confusing that time equals money. And I think that a lot of folks would look at this and say that right off the top of their head. They would say, oh yeah, that's time equals money. Okay, we don't want that. We want time is money. All right, now, theoretically, as I said, there's nothing wrong with it. It's perfect. But think about my comments and think about how they could improve the visual communication therein. Okay, other than that, fantastic job. Good job, black and white. Good job, color. Outstanding work. Okay, any questions at all, Joseph? Please let me know. I'll be glad to make any necessary clarifications. Thank you for sharing your work.